It is with a significant measure of sadness that the Sporting Post reported that Karl Neisius has had to decide to hang up his boots. It is the inflammation and osteoporosis in his back that have kept him out of the saddle since his last win on the 12th of September 2015. Karl Neisius is now 58, and the doctors have told him that if he carries on, his back is going to deteriorate significantly, and as a consequence, they have medically boarded him, saying that he is unable to do his job. Karl said, "Naturally, I'm extremely disappointed, and I really believe that I would be able to resume race riding, but it really would be very silly to ride with my insurance not intact." A few years ago, 9-time Cape champion jockey was talking of training with a maximum of 40 horses. But now that the time has come, he's really not sure. Of the 3,200 winners that Karl Neisius has ridden during his long and illustrious career, 55 of them have been Grade 1s, with Flaming Rock probably being the crowning glory back in 1991. But who was the best horse he ever rode? Probably Dynasty. Many young apprentices that arrive at the academy are from racing families, some not. You happen to come from a background where your mother was a riding instructor. So put things into perspective when you got to the Jockeys Academy at Marion Hill.
I came in the middle of the year in the academy, and there was Colin Buckham was there and Orville Wright, and Orville was very, very strict, and all the apprentices were scared, absolutely scared of him. You know, he was, but it was very fair, and yeah, I loved my time there. Marion Hill was fantastic. I loved it, and then we moved over to the new academy in Summerveld, and it was a fantastic time.
Okay, so to put things into historical context, on the left, so to speak, you had Garth Puller. On the right, you had Felix Coetzee and Jeff Lloyd, three of the finest riders that this country's ever seen. Who was actually in your year at the time?
Also, now Robbie Hill was in my year, Tex Lorena, Basil Marcus was in my year. But like I said, I came in mid-year, and I think I was the last one who came mid-year. After that, you know, they only took them at the beginning of the year or the beginning of each year.
Okay, so after you left the academy, what sort of recollections do you have of having arrived in Cape Town?
Before I came to Cape Town, actually, we went out to supper with Vincent Curtis, who'd been riding in for Ralph. And he just moved back to Durban. He'd been riding Cape Town, he moved back to Durban. And me and Basil went out to supper with him a few weeks before we came here. And Basil was going to Theo de Klerk, and I was going to Ralph Rixon. And Ralph Rixon had only just got his license from coming down from Kenya and Zambia. And Vincent said to me, he said, "Whatever you do," he said, "there's one horse you mustn't ride." He says, "There's a horse called Early Sun." He said, "Don't. If they put you on that," he said, "it is stone mad, be very careful." And of course, my first or my second meeting, I was on this horse, Early Sun. But he was actually fine with me the first meeting, but the second time I rode him, he was absolutely crazy. He bolted around the course with me. It was a very, very big, strong horse, and really silly in the pens, and gave me a big wake-up call. Flow by You was a prime case, although he was always quite hot in the mornings and that, but when you got down to the pens, he was fine until some days he'd be more excited than others, but when you got in the pens, you wanted to get in and out as fast as possible, and yeah, if something else happened, there was always going to be a problem. He didn't like standing in the pens for more than a few seconds. Very powerful, it wasn't very big. He ran a lot on adrenaline, I think. It was all about sort of turning him off, get him relaxed for a few furlongs, and then, you know, you just have this explosive burst. And it was a wonderful horse to ride, and gave me a lot of pleasure.
Taban and Flow By You, both Thatch on the outside. What a great finish here we have. Taban, Flow By You, it's a great tussle, but Flow By You's coming on to win it. And a great win for Flow By You from Taban and both Thatch.
The best sprinter you ever rode?
Definitely. I mean, I think he proved it. He won like 17 races.
Yeah.
And about 5 or 6 Group 1s, so if not more. But he was a fantastic horse, and fantastic job by Eric to keep him going for so long. He kept on going for quite a few seasons, and you don't often see that nowadays.
Okay, then Shirley Pfeiffer's son of Ballad Rock, Flaming Rock, probably one of the gamest and most courageous horses you ever rode, Karl.
He put me on the map. Really, he was my big break. And what a fantastic horse. Also 17, 18-time winner, and I won most of the races on him, and it was a real privilege to ride him as well.
Ironically, probably a huge travesty of justice that just as the Vodacom Durban July and Rothmans July was a hoodoo for Jeff Lloyd, so too was the J&B Met for you. But Flaming Rock really came very, very close on a couple of occasions, just couldn't quite get the 10 furlongs.
Well, it was different. It was different in those days in that the Met was a handicap. So it was also, it's very hard to win those races with top weight. And I think 2,000 meters wasn't his best distance. I think he was really a miler. It was just his class that carried him through the extra few furlongs. And yeah, it was a travesty. He should have won it. I think most probably one of the best races he ever ran was in the Met. He ran second, but it was a fantastic run. He was giving lots of weight away to everybody, and he only got beaten a neck or something. And it was
that Olympic Jewel?
Yeah, it was Olympic Jewel, and she was phenomenal.
Spectacular.
They made the race to suit the filly, and obviously I would have liked it a little bit slower that day because the slower the went, he switched off completely, and he just had this fantastic burst. So they made it a true 2,000 meter, and it told on him then with top weight.
Karl, there was a very unfashionably bred son of Sunny North, a horse called Record Edge, known as the Mayor of Whitehills, and you were on his back at Gosforth Park in the Administrators' Champion Stakes.
Mike was still a young and up-and-coming trainer then, and I was doing very well. I had a very good year, and managed to pick up the ride on him, and only rode him a few times, but won the race in Joburg, and I rode him 1 or 2 other times, but sure too, a very, very good miler, and I was very lucky. Broke me in with Mark a little bit. I got a few chances from him, and we had a few nice years together.
And Dynasty has come through to pick it up, and he has the Derby at his mercy. This is true class as Dynasty powers away from the opposition.
There's not many horses that I can recall that broke their maiden over a mile, and my recollection, I don't think Dynasty ever ran a 1,200 metre race in his whole life.
You could be right. I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure he never won at 1,200, but he might have ran 1 or 2. But he started off over ground, and he's just showed so much. Dean was just battling to find a race for him, and we put him in a few races, and then eventually we got him in a mile. And I actually didn't ride him. I don't think his first start.
I think Robbie rode him.
I think Robbie rode him, yeah. But we knew way before that he was something special.
Just going back to Dynasty as a yearling, he was, I think, probably around a 400,000 Rand purchase, and a lot of people liked him, but he did have a conformational defect which eventually put an end to his racing career. But John Freeman bought him, and he was a horse that surely had to be trained by an absolute master to get him through all those races with such incredible courage.
Okay, we don't need to talk about Dean, what he does, and what he does year after year. He's obviously very fortunate. He's got a really strong client base that buy him top horses year after year, and it's been an absolute pleasure to ride for him and to ride the horses that his clients have bought for him. He's a fantastic guy to ride for, and he's got fantastic clients.
Got any closer to an afterlife?
No, not really at this stage. I want to enjoy the Cape season. Just think about it, give a bit of time to myself, my family, and enjoy Christmas with him for once. Normally you're going light for the Boxing Day, or there's something, or New Year's Day they're racing the next day. So let's enjoy New Year and Christmas, and enjoy the Cape season. It's going to be a fantastic season this year. I'm really sorry that I'm going to miss it, because there's going to be fantastic racing. But yeah, I'll be there from the side of the stand, from the side of the rail, and enjoy it.
Karl, I mean, he's a great legend and a loss to the jockey room. He was always the kind of guy that kept everyone level-headed and stable, and an idol to a lot of people too. I think a lot of the young guys coming through the ranks always look up to him. I'll never forget, we were all sitting in the sauna the one day, and Tyron Langdon, funny enough, out of the blue, popped up and he said, "Karl," he says, "Uncle Karl, you're so cool, you could probably breastfeed a crocodile." And we all had a great laugh, and that was Karl, you know, right through his career. You had him tight on the rail. His boots would probably wear off before he even said a squeak. I mean, he had such a nerve, and I always thought to myself, coming through the ranks, especially when I first moved to Cape Town, when I was around Karl, I knew I was in the right place, and it was always the case. He just always placed his horses so well, you know, and he knew all the courses off by heart, and he was just a wonderful jockey, and also quite hard to pass in the straight too. It was quite a sad thing because I knew deep down in his heart he always wanted to win the Met. It was one of those special races for him, having been that he grew up here all along, and he rode many great horses, but it just wasn't a race that was meant to be for him, and it's just one of those things, you know, you can't win everything you want to win, and yeah, you just have to move on from there.
And with Karl's beautiful personality, how do you think that his energy, his knowledge, his passion could be best harnessed in horse racing from here on onwards?
Well, if I was a big owner out there, I'd snap him up as my racing manager, because he just got so much knowledge, right through from riding work to handicapping to you name it. He'll be good at it, and yeah, that's if I was a big owner, like I said, I'd snap him up as a racing manager. I think that's where he'll be the most successful. I wish he could be my agent, but unfortunately he's got better things to do. I was just sad to see him retire so early, but yeah, I think he had a great time, and we're really going to miss him.